Hi folks, it's Lee here. What about you? What's the crack with you all? I hope you're all having a good week and a nice weekend. I'm going to be doing a wee tutorial. This is in response to Sherry7495. She's doing a giveaway at the moment. It's her birthday month and she's doing a giveaway, and she's separating the goodies into a few videos, and in each video she asks you a question which she would like you to reply to. So I had said, she'd asked something about storage for distressings, and I had said that I made a distress ink tower. That sounds awful, doesn't it? Tower. A distress ink tower. Just so you can understand me and my accent. For my distress inks, it holds 20 distress inks, and I'm now beyond the 20 mark, so I have to make another one. So I thought I may as well do the tutorial in response to Sherry's video as well. So this is the tower that I made. Now it's about 2 years old. It's whenever I just started crafting. I didn't have a blog at the time. I didn't even know, I wasn't on YouTube. I didn't even know that there were such things as videos on YouTube for crafting. So this was made years ago, 2 years ago, whenever I didn't have the proper glue, didn't have much paper. I only had like 4 distress inks at the time, and I was sort of hoping that I would eventually fill it up, you know, but the design isn't great. I don't know what I was thinking here. What is this about? I made all my own flowers. I haven't bought any from Wild Orchid Crafts yet. I've received some in racks and some things that I bought from Fiona, but I actually haven't made an order yet with them, so I make all my own flowers. And as you can see, I did put some on the top here, so they're all handmade by me, by my fair little Irish hands. So that's those. That's made out of grunge board, that one. I love grunge board. But as for this, I have no idea what I was thinking, so please forgive this. It was away at the beginning of my crafting about 1.5 years or 2 years ago, so that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. So I'm going to show you how to make this. Now, I'm more than positive that there are tutorials out there showing you how to make these sort of things. This is just the way I made mine, if I can remember how I made mine. But I'll show you how I made mine anyway, and what the sizes were and whatever. But as I say, there's probably loads of tutorials out there on how to make these wee storage towers. There are probably tutorials out there that are much better at gluing them together and putting them together, and how you know, it's still sturdy. I mean, it's really sturdy. This hasn't fallen apart in 2 years. Just my design is a bit dodgy. So as I said, it holds 20 distress inks. There is a space at the top. You could squeeze in another distress ink there, but my reasoning behind that was I want to be able to, you know, push the distress ink up and pull out the particular distress ink that I want. So I left that it's only 20 that go into this, and I leave the wee gap at the top. Also, what you can do, and what I did do for a long time when I only had a few distress inks, I put my foam, the wee applicator foams from Holtz, I put those in there as well. And I've now got to the stage where I've got over 20 distress inks, so I need to use another. So I'll probably divide it like this and put some of the foam in the top, because I find that quite handy to have those as well, because I don't like the foams lying about. I like it all stored properly, and I do have quite a small craft space, so the more storage I can have, the better. So that's it. I'll show you how to make, or how I make this anyway. There's bound to be better tutorials out there, but I just thought I need to do another one anyway, so I may as well show you how I made mine. I use mount board. I'll try not to wreck the house while I'm in the process of doing this. I use mount board. You could use chipboard. There's no difference really. The only difference between mount board and chipboard is that this is the type of thing that photographers use whenever they're mounting photographs. It's coated white on both sides, and it's quite sort of slick. I like it because it's very, very smooth, so whenever you put the glue on it and the paper on it, goes very, very smooth. There's no wee bits of chipboard lumps or anything like that. But to be honest, there's really, the only difference is this white part. You can just use ordinary chipboard, or if you don't have chipboard, just cut up a cereal box and double it, and that'll give you a good thickness for your board. Now this is 2mm, as I said, so the sizes I have gone for are just a wee bit bigger than the distress ink. So your distress inks, I think they're 7.5 centimetres squared. right in my measurements. Yeah, 7.5 centimeters squared, so that's, what's that in inches? That's just about 3 inches squared. So what I've done is I have, get that the right way around, I've decided to make the depth of mine 8 centimeters and 8 centimeters wide, so whenever it's sitting up, it's, you know, it's, ooh, the depth is 8 centimeters and the width, the back of it, is 8 centimeters as well. I use A4 mount board, which is the standard size here in the UK, but for those Americans that don't have A4 size, I think the closest to you is 8.5 by 11 inches. I think that's about, what's that in centimeters? 29.5 by 21 centimeters by 20 by 30, almost 30. So I have cut my mount board at 8 centimeters across by the A4 length, which is nearly 30 centimeters. So you need 3 of these, and then you need a piece that is going to go on the bottom and a piece that is going to go on the top as well. So that's going to be 8 centimeters squared as well. So you also need PVA glue. This is the glue that I like to use. This is just good old cheap B&Q Decorators PVA. It's a big bottle. I think it's, yeah, it's a litre bottle, and I got it for a couple of pounds in B&Q. So just any Elmer's glue is perfectly fine. Just a white glue. Anything you can use that's going to stick this baby to the paper. Or you can use double-sided tape. It works just as well. So I cut 3 pieces. That's 8 centimeters by 30 centimeters. Or A4 standard length. And I've also got a piece of 12 by 12 paper here. That is going to be my cover. This paper is, cut off the wee bit, this paper is Black Market Paper Society, Vintage Romance Appledore, this piece is called. I've only got a couple of pieces of this, I don't even know where I got it. I don't have a great deal of 12 by 12 papers. The majority of mine are just loose papers. I've got one Tim Holtz and one K&Co 12 by 12 paper pad. I know that's terribly sad, but it's very, very expensive to buy the paper pads here in Northern Ireland, so I have to do with loose sheets. So I'm using one piece of 12 by 12 paper. I'm using a foam brush, my PVA glue. So let's put this together. This is going to be my outside, I think. Where should I go for this one? No, I'll use that as my outside. So whatever you want on the outside, face it down onto your mat, just so we can get the measurements here right. You're going to put your 3 pieces of board onto your piece of 12 by 12 paper. Now, there's just about enough room to fold this over the top, but there's plenty of room to fold it up at the sides here. What you need to do is, you don't want to butt these up together and glue them on, because whenever you go to fold, there's not going to be any room. You know, it's just going to be stuck onto the piece, the backboard, so you know there's not going to be any room at all there to fold it. So you need to space it slightly from the back. This is going to be your back, and these are your 2 sides. I hope I'm explaining this right. So the 2 sides, space them evenly, and then give it a wee test run. So I'm going to fold, oh, don't move, don't move. I'm going to fold this up and make sure, yep, there's adequate space, and make sure there's enough space here between these 2. So if I fold that up, you'll see that there's enough space there. So I'll just tell you what size that is. I would say that's about 1/8 of an inch difference in width between the backboard and your sideboard. Just space it by 1/8 of an inch. And what is that in centimeters? That is about 3 millimeters space between them. So now all we have to do is get our bone folder, and I'm just going to run my bone folder down the side so I get the paper ready for creasing. Do it round this side. Don't worry about the moving, because I mean you're pretty much going to lift these anyway, but just keep them here like that for now. Turn it around this way, and as you can see, you know, there really is just like about 3 millimeters maybe this side, 3 millimeters this side, so you have to be really careful whenever you're folding this up, so just be careful when you're putting your crease lines in as well. And just crease that. That and that, and I'm going to switch hands. Being a lefty, I'm sort of a wee bit ambidextrous. As a child I used to swap hands quite a bit whenever my left hand got sore. Now my writing's terrible with my right hand, but it's probably better than a right-handed trying left, if you know what I mean. Oh Lee, another true story by Lee. Anyway, enough of my misbehaving. Because I've folded these wee crease lines up here, whenever I go to glue this, I'll have a fair idea where I'm setting my board back down again. So just keep that in mind whenever you're making this. Don't forget to do your crease lines, because that will be an indication of where you have to set your board, your mount board back down when you need to glue it. So I'll just take these out of the way just for now, because I need to fold up the tiny wee crease line here. And again, that'll be the indication of where I need to set the mount board back down when it's glued. So and we've got our creases here, our creases here, and our creases here, and our creases here. So when I'm gluing my mount board back, I know exactly where it all needs to sit. Put the 2 outside bits on first, glue those down first, and then you put your middle part in and make sure it's evenly spaced between these 2. So we'll just put the glue on now. Layered on that piece, and we just have to make sure we get it to the top where the crease is. We start from the bottom, might be easier. Just make sure the space is equal. That's looking pretty good to me. So I want to join up, yeah. So give that a good press down, good burnish. Make sure your sides don't overlap or anything. No, perfect. Turn it over, burnish. And now we want to glue our sides down. So what I do is miter the corners. I know it's going to be a bit tough to gauge because this part here is so skinny, but just do your best. Don't cut right, excuse me, don't cut right to the corner there. You need to leave a wee space. I've shown it in, I think in the album I made, in the portfolio sort of thing from a craft and stuff. I showed you how to miter the corners, so if you want to refer back to that video, you can do. Okay, that's all those done. So again, we just need to crease our pages again. Just make sure the creases are in the correct spot. Give it a bit of a burnish. And then obviously the wee side bits, I'm afraid it is so tight here. If you didn't like the fact that these corners are so tight here, you could use A3 size paper, which is a lot larger. Now I don't know whether you can get patterned A3 paper. I've never seen it here in Northern Ireland. I've never seen it anywhere in the UK or Ireland, so unless you wanted to do your own pattern, you know, make your own pattern paper on the A3, that would probably be better, because you would have, you know, at least this sort of width on all sides. But to be honest, I find it alright, you know, it's fine. This wee bit here doesn't bother me. There's actually enough glue to glue these wee sides up, you know, from the glue that was on the page that sort of splurged out a little bit. So the wee side panels, actually, that side panel has enough glue on it. Let's see if this has got enough glue on it. Nope, this needs a wee touch. So there's probably enough glue left on my sponge here, so I'll just stick a wee bit of glue there. Perfect. So you now need to start making the creases in the paper. Now please be gentle when you're doing this, you don't want to rip your paper. So I'm just working the corners there. And this is what it will look like. You can see that. So then your distress inks just fit in perfectly like that. So I've just gone to for 5 minutes before I put the top and bottom piece on. I'm just going to let the glue just set for about 5 minutes, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what we do with the top and bottom piece. Back in a second.